This woman goes hunting in the mountains every day, and each time she has to pass by this big tree in front. But today she feels a little strange, as she has been walking for a long time without reaching her usual hunting spot. Instead, she once again arrives back at the big tree. This is already the second time today that the woman has walked through this place. The woman looks around in terror. The sight makes her very afraid at this moment, because she sees the scenery on both sides looking exactly the same. Despite being frantic, the woman is strangely calm at this moment. She takes off the scarf from her neck and ties it to a nearby branch. Then she chooses a direction to move forward, and she marks every tree she passes by. However, not long after, the woman once again returns to the big tree. The only difference is that the scarf tied to the branch is gone. The woman is somewhat panicked and turns around, running into the woods behind her, searching aimlessly for an exit in the woods. Suddenly, the woman notices the iron fence she came through earlier. She quickly wriggles out from it and runs back home in a panic. Her husband notices that she has been anxious since she got home, so he asks her what happened after she went out. But the woman says she encountered a bear. The husband doesn't believe what his wife says and leaves angrily. That night, the neighbor, in an effort to reconcile the couple's conflict, specially invited them to barbecue together. Suddenly, the neighbor, burning his right hand, went home early by accident. The woman was a bit worried, so she followed the neighbor to check on his injury. However, when she entered, she found the neighbor holding a wine glass with his right hand. The woman, with a puzzled expression, asked the neighbor, "Wasn't your right hand burned?" The neighbor hesitated noticeably after hearing what the woman said, then slowly put down the wine glass and nervously covered his right hand, making an excuse to leave. Just as the woman was full of doubts, even stranger things happened. The neighbor, his right hand wrapped in gauze, walked towards the woman from the opposite direction. The woman was very puzzled and quickly fled the scene. The woman is searching for prey in the forest, when suddenly a bullet flies overhead. Startled, the woman quickly hides behind a large tree. She was about to peek out to see what was happening, but narrowly avoided getting shot in the head. Soon after, the woman retaliates by firing back and accidentally hits the other person. The woman quickly raises her gun to check the other side, only to discover that she had just shot at another version of herself. The woman is extremely puzzled. She returns home and tells her husband about what happened in the forest, including what happened during the barbecue the day before when the neighbor burned his right hand. But the woman later saw the neighbor with a perfectly healthy right hand. At this point, the husband seems to have transformed, showing no patience to listen to the woman. Instead, he tells her it's time to take the medication. Just then, their neighbor, who had heard them arguing, ran over to mediate. The woman, terrified, looks at the neighbor with bandaged left hand. Despite her husband calling her from behind, the woman, with questions in her mind, ventures into the forest once again. As soon as she arrives in front of the big tree, she notices someone approaching from the distance. Quickly, the woman picks up her weapon to be on guard. However, she realizes that it is actually her husband. But the man claims he is not the woman's husband. He is from another parallel timeline. Then, the man takes out a book and tells the woman everything he knows. It turns out that this big tree is a convergence point of spacetime. From here, one can travel to multiple parallel worlds. Each parallel world has its own version of oneself, and the man came here to find his long-lost wife. At this moment, both he and the woman are trapped in this place, unable to find their original worlds. After many years of research, the man discovered a method that could potentially help them find their original worlds, but it requires the woman's cooperation. Thus, the married couple from different dimensions embarked on an adventurous journey to find their way back home. The man just returned home and heard a noise in the kitchen. As he slowly walked over to investigate, he found his younger brother running out. The man called out to his brother a few times, but the brother just ran out directly. However, the next moment, another person ran out behind the man, and to his surprise, it was his brother again. So the man chased after the two brothers into the forest. After telling the woman how he ended up here, the man set out to find his own time and space. He left the woman waiting for him to return. Before leaving each time, the man would tie a fishing line to a tree. He did this so that if he walked into the wrong time and space upon his return. On this day, the woman saw the fishing line move slightly, but she never saw the man appear, so she followed the fishing line to find the man. Little did she know that this nearly cost her life. After entering the house, she woke up the sleeping man. The man, upon seeing the woman, behaved unusually terrified. He took the opportunity to knock the woman unconscious while she was distracted. When the woman woke up, she found herself tied to a chair by the man. The man wanted to continue to harm the woman. Fortunately, the man's brother intervened just in time to prevent the man from immediately attacking. The man did this because he had just injured his own wife. At this moment, the woman's body still lay in the corner of the floor. Therefore, the man was certain that the woman was definitely not his wife, so the man raised the gun again. The brother hurriedly ran over to stop the man. During the struggle between the two, the gun accidentally went off and hit the man. The man slowly fell to the ground. Later, the woman was rescued by the man's brother. However, the brother chose to end his own life after the woman left. The woman returned to the forest and reunited with the man. The man told the woman that he had found his original time and space. He asked the woman to quickly occupy a world of her own and live well. The woman was initially unwilling, but what happened next changed her mind. After sending the man away, the woman took out a water bottle and took a sip of water. Suddenly, a voice behind her startled her, making her drop the water bottle. It turned out that another version of herself from a different world was pointing a hunting rifle at her. Although the woman tried to explain to the other self that she wouldn't disturb her life, the other self only wanted to harm her. So, before the other self could act, the woman took the first move. She then picked up a rock from the ground and knocked out the other self. Following that, the woman chose a direction and returned to the real world. When the woman woke up from a peaceful sleep, she realized how much her husband loved her. The family looked very harmonious. So, the woman finally decided to stay and make this space her own.